Hi there. A dramatic change in the weather expected through the weekend as the Atlantic fires back and it turns increasingly unsettled, with Storm Isha by the end of the weekend bringing widespread, potentially disruptive and damaging wind gusts. We end Friday with high pressure close to the south. That doesn't last long. The Atlantic roars back and increasingly westerlies and increasingly wet and windy weather arrives. This system in particular we've got a close eye on because that's going to move out of North America on Saturday, picked up by a powerful jet stream, this fast flowing current of air high in the sky, almost in a straight line across the Atlantic, so very quickly sending Storm Isha our way. And widely we're going to see very strong winds as we end the weekend. We end Friday with some clear spells across eastern parts of the UK, some southern areas as well, seeing a touch of frost overnight under those clear skies and with lighter winds. But elsewhere, we're going to see an increased southwesterly breeze. That's bringing in additional cloud from the Atlantic and some wet weather as well. Now that rain moves in with cold air in place across Scotland. The snow level is increasing through the night, so by the end of the night it's 600 metres or so we expect it to be snowing. But at lower levels, still the potential for some icy patches because of the cold ground, the snow that we've got in place, and that rain that's arriving on top of all of that. So watch out for a few slippery surfaces in the north of Scotland first thing Saturday, and a touch of frost there for the southeast. But otherwise, well, we're losing those wintry hazards, but they are being replaced by wet and windy hazards. Now, Saturday itself brings some wet weather first thing across Scotland, some mountain snow, but most of this is rain. That pushes into northern England as well as Wales. A few spots of rain perhaps for parts of Devon and Cornwall, but the rain tends to fizzle through the afternoon. Many places turn drier, albeit very cloudy. The cloud covering the hills across some of these northern and western areas of the UK, but it stays bright towards the southeast. That's where it's going to be chilliest, I suspect, 5 or 6 Celsius after a frosty start. Elsewhere, we've got enough cloud, enough of a breeze to stir the air up and prevent a chill. Certainly a milder afternoon compared with recent afternoons. But it turns increasingly wet from the west on Saturday night, the wind picking up as well. Spells of heavy and persistent rain could cause some issues for central Scotland, combined with snowmelt. The rain does move across the country and it turns more showery by the start of Sunday. Some heavy downpours, especially in the west, but some clearer interludes as well, and a gusty wind. So all of that means that it's generally going to be frost-free as we start off Sunday. A bright start in places, some glimpses of sunlight out there, but quite a few showers moving through. Then the more persistent rain pushes back in by the end of the morning across western areas, spreading into much of northern and western England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland by the afternoon. Northeast Scotland, southeast England, just about avoiding the rain until after dark. But for many other places, it is going to be a soggy end to the day. And of course, that third spell of rain of the weekend exacerbating the problem with snowmelt over northern hills and western hills catching the highest rainfall totals. 50 millimetres widely over western hills, 100 millimetres in some of the wetter spots could cause localised flooding. It's going to be milder, technically, but I suspect feeling more unpleasant because of the wet and windy weather. And speaking of winds, here's the wind gust graphic for the end of the afternoon on Sunday. This is the stage when winds are really going to start to ramp up. And as you can see, western coasts, as we end the afternoon, seeing 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. But inland, we'll see those values arrive on Sunday evening, widely across England, Wales, southern Scotland, Northern Ireland. Some very strong winds, gales in places. And by the peak period of winds, which will be Sunday night into Monday morning, the risk of 70 or 80 mile per hour wind gusts around some of the most exposed western and southeastern coasts. It's the southeast of England that gets those winds by the start of Monday. So those kinds of wind speeds could lead to widespread disruption by the start of Monday. If you're travelling Monday first thing, check conditions on the roads. Check for any damage to buildings, of course, from those strong wind gusts. And make sure you're aware of the potential for dangerous coastal conditions as well. We'll keep you updated right here on YouTube. Bye-bye.